Nosroyal,
Hi.
how are you?
Unjani?
Ngiyaphila. Okay, I see we've been joined by Galaxy A31. I'm not sure whether it's Lungelo. How's your day?
He must announce himself. It's hectic, but I'm happy. I've just submitted my document, so I'm at peace. The internet was a problem. I had to switch to MTN, but I think we're fine now.
Yeah, no, it's actually fine. Normally it would say if your bandwidth is low.
I had to restart my phone to make sure that it was getting active.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
otherwise
And
good.
I'm also recording right now.
Greatness. I did get a phone call from someone who wanted to join us. They had to check how many megabytes do they need.
Oh.
They like, azophela, my dad thinks, yeah, get 200 to 300 megabytes. And then she said she'll join us on the next one or then catch the recording.
Oh,
And yeah,
okay. That's great. In fact, 500 MB to be safe, eh?
Yeah, true. 500 completely to be
Yeah, 500. Okay. Lungelo, if you are here, please open your video because I don't see him.
Someone is connecting.
Yeah, it's Tubale too. Okay, Lungelo is still even posting right now on WhatsApp.
People are excited about today. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm having a snack on the side. Please forgive me.
No problem. Don't worry.
I was craving chocolate cake.
A girl must do what a girl needs to do.
Yes. Work from home.
Yeah, okay. Lungelo is not here yet.
Just look for him on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm just okay, let me just do this.
Only mayor. Pendulo. Mshengu. Thank you.
Lungelo.
Are we good, Mbuselo?
Yeah. Nangu Lungelo. Lungelo, are you good, man? Lungelo?
The galaxy.
Yeah. Okay. Let me send. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. He's connecting to his audio right now.
All right, greatness.
Okay, can you hear the
Hey,
noise?
siyafunda sonke.
Yeah, can you hear the noise on my side? Okay. Okay, I think we're ready to start. Lungelo looks like he's ready. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. Welcome to the Lockdown Chat with myself and Nos Royal, powered by Enable South Africa, which is a non-profit organization that is aimed at transitioning young people from being followers to becoming leaders. So welcome to the Lockdown Chat. To start off today's episode, this is the introduction for today. So as the society, we have a conjured up image of lawyers. To many of us, a lawyer is a man with important esoteric information who dresses conservatively. And also we regard lawyers as just people who has high standard of material wealth, which is not always the case, because in reality, it is estimated that at least for 5 years, it takes 5 years for a lawyer to be well established financially and also in building their reputation. And also other images that we also have in our mind is of a politician. We regard lawyers as politicians, defender of civil rights, or defender of business interests. But one image that is vital that we notably miss is that a lawyer is also a social reformer, which this echoes the famous law school phrase, which says lawyers are destined to lead. So ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is a true embodiment of this phrase that lawyers are destined to lead. This individual has invaded the legal and entrepreneurship territory and continues to leave an indelible mark. Our guest today, ladies and gentlemen, is an admitted legal practitioner of the High Court of South Africa, which was previously known as admitted attorney of the High Court of South Africa. He obtained his LLB degree from the University of Zululand. His journey started as an assistant at the Law Clinic, University of Zululand Law Clinic. He has also served in one of KZN's best criminal litigation firms known as Ngobese and Associates. Our guest, ladies and gentlemen, is a founder and director of Azania Ngobese Attorneys, which is a firm that covers a wide range of fields, including but not limited to personal injury claims, debt collection, and administration of deceased estates. When everyone fights, while everyone fights for a place in the table, our guest today built his own table and also set his firms in offices in Nkandla to help the indigent people to access justice easily and also at an affordable rate. He's also a founder and organizer of the Annual Law Gala Dinner, which has taken place in Nkandla and also Eshowe. He has also been recently been a contributor in the Youth Power Virtual Conference, which was hosted by the KZN MEC of Education, Mr. Kwazi Mshengu. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome today on the lockdown chat with Nos and myself, Mbuyi, Lungelo Ngobese. Welcome to the show, man. Okay, looks like he's having some challenges.
Is the audio?
Okay, Lungelo. Okay.
Can we write to him on the chat somewhere?
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Okay, all right, cool. Then I'll let me close that.
Lungelo.
Lungelo is muted at the moment. Lungelo, can you please unmute your microphone?
Unmute. Okay, I'm trying here to ask him to unmute. Okay. Lungelo.
Yeah, I think it's fine now.
Yeah, no, man. Thank you so much. Yo, finally. Welcome to the lockdown chat. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. I'm doing very well. Apologies, we are not familiar with this technology. So I had some difficulties, yeah.
Oh, no problem. Just start and just do with telling us about yourself and your company. I've done an introduction and you've done well for yourself, man, and you are a true inspiration to many young people, including myself, who are still coming up in the legal fraternity. So, man, thank you so much for joining us today. So you may just start.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I am Lungelo Ngobese. I was born in Nkandla, in a rural area, in KZN, in the north of KZN. So basically, if I may just summarize my journey towards finally opening the law firm, which is the ultimate goal for each and every upcoming and young aspiring attorney. It's a very rough patch because the path to it is very sketchy. It's very rough. It needs survivors. It needs you to some way along the way that you remove from your mind that you are a lawyer or an aspiring lawyer. You have to operate like a warrior. You have to fight because there are many issues around one becoming a successful entrepreneur or a lawyer. So what makes it more challenging for us or for upcoming lawyers is that you have to combine both entrepreneurship and your law part, your legal route. So it makes it very difficult to balance the two, because sometimes you find that you don't have time to get training or to get information about the entrepreneurship part, or else it's the core part of you becoming a lawyer, but you only receive the legal training. So for me, it was very rough patch. I'm not even there yet where I want to be, but at least there is progress when I look back over the years. So for me, I started my law degree at the University of Zululand in 2010. I graduated in 2013. Throughout my years, the first year is very exciting for a lawyer because there's still that excitement that, oh, finally you are in a law school, you are doing law. And then in between, you get different interests and be interested in different things, which some of us find it very hard to survive, because you get different interests which may make you deviate from the law route, because it's a very difficult route. Regardless of the institution that you are studying in, law is very challenging, because law is never about studying, it's about studying and developing your capacity to think. So it's all about the development part of it. So yeah, I graduated in 2013, started my articles in 2014 at a law firm situated in Eshowe, wherein I did my articles for 2 years, and finally got admitted in 2016. So it was a very rough patch. It was never easy. I had to sacrifice a lot of things, which I'm still sacrificing for even now as we speak. So so this part which speaks to one developing an entrepreneurship mind, that's the most difficult one, because the law side, it's very easy because you have your qualification, you have been trained for about 4 years, so it's much easier to adapt to work and all that. But when you have to now start and make it as something to earn a living with, it's a very difficult part, and it becomes very challenging for upcoming lawyers. So and also the state of the country, because we are also not immune to the state of our economy, so it makes it more difficult. And the most difficult part that I've always stressed is that there's some sort of a neglect attitude that we receive from I would say from our government. As lawyers, we are seen as enemies of progress. We are seen as people who rescue criminals and all that, because we appear in most difficult times that people face. But now the problem is that people do not have much knowledge about lawyers. They think lawyers are all about defending criminals. No, it's not about defending criminals, but it's that our country has created a justice system, and for that justice system to function properly, it means individuals in the republic need to be represented legally. So we represent them on the basis that we represent whatever interest they have. So now we tend to get neglected from government, in that our entrepreneurship part does not receive enough sponsorship, enough funding. Even for law graduates, I believe that lawyers play a very important and significant part in our country. There should be a fund to assist or to subsidize graduates or fellow law graduates to ensure that even if they receive a small stipend from law firms that employ them, but there is a subsidy from government which supplement their income, which will ensure that our country produce quality judges, quality lawyers, quality prosecutors, and quality advocates. So I think that that's the part which makes it very difficult for us to have the best legal practitioners, because the system is not favorable to lawyers. I think if there's anything that I have not touched on, I'll accept questions pertaining to the law as a qualification, and pertaining to the law as a business.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Angazi ukuthi Mbuyi ukephi for now.
Okay,
Can I jump in there?
Yeah, you can.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Lungelo. That was very informative. And kuhlukazi futhi the different aspects and perspectives of actually doing law, which you also need the entrepreneurship side. A quick question for me is, what is your situation right now as a lawyer and as a business owner? Where do you stand right now currently as a business leader?
Okay, thank you very much. As a business owner at this moment, because of this pandemic, we are suffering. I won't lie. We are suffering. I won't say because of certain individuals doing or any part or any institution, but it's simply because the effects of the pandemic affect almost everyone who's in business. In one way, in one simple example that I'll put is that we as lawyers, we benefit mostly on private instructions. So if our clients cannot afford to pay us, that means our business is bound to suffer. So we are suffering. We can't even take in new candidate attorneys. We can't operate normally. We have to reduce working hours in order to ensure that our employees are well paid. So it's a difficult situation for everyone. It's not only applicable to us. That's why I'll say in answering your question, business is bad and we are suffering, and we are still going to suffer for a very long time because many things are not they're not normal. So our business is affected a lot.
I hear you. And you were speaking about subsidies and stipends that are needed from government to help and support you and aid you in growing your business as a lawyer. So at this very time, knowing that billions of rands have been given out for relief funds, have you had access to any of those fundings currently, or pursuing in gaining access to those funds?
The answer to that will be no. We have not received any assistance simply because I think those funds, the way they were put, they did not speak specifically to each department. It would have been much better if each sector, whatever application was handled by each department relevant to it, because the requirements there, they were very general. And they were general in the sense that practically it's impossible for any law firm to receive that assistance, because the requirements there required some things which are not applicable to us, or they are not a requirement to us. For example, for a law firm, the requirement is that it must be registered with the relevant body, which is the Legal Practice Council, and all other compliance or requirements by the Legal Practice Council. Meaning that if you comply with those requirements, your law firm is a law firm in good standing in terms of the Legal Practice Council Act. Now, when the government sets requirements which are are based on an umbrella approach of a company in South Africa, then it's a negative effect to us to say, no, for us, it's not a requirement that we exist, that we register for such purposes, because our trade is different to other companies. So in that, it has been difficult for any law firm to access that funding. I'm not in a position to say no law firm has received such assistance, but the people that I know and who are close to me have not been able to apply because of certain requirements. Some have applied, but they have not been successful in gaining any assistance because it was not specific to each department. So that's the current position we are facing.
Yo, that is really powerful, Lungelo, and it says there must be major transformations, not in the government and also in the legal sector itself, so that to empower, especially I think Black attorneys are the mostly the affected ones, because they have no backup capital, unlike our counterpart, colleagues. I have a question here, Lungelo, for you, that what is it that you did not learn at law school, but as you went outside, you were able to learn? It's something that you did not learn at law school, but something that you learned along the way, both as a legal practitioner and also as an entrepreneur.
Apologies, Mr. Villegas. Can you repeat your question? There's some noise that was disturbing me here. I did not hear the last part.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. I'm saying, what is it that you learned, not at law school, but as you went outside after graduating, as an entrepreneur and also as a legal practitioner, something that may not be in the textbook or in that you did not find even in lecturers, prescribing it, but lessons that you were able to accumulate outside the tertiary environment. Yeah.
Thank you for that question, Mr. Blas. I think there are a variety of things that you do not learn. Obviously, it will be wrong for us to put it in a manner that to suggest that there is a lack in a certain part of education. Some things are learned practically. Some things cannot be. Accessed through the textbook. You have to experience it because certain conditions exist for certain individuals. What may be applicable to me or my struggles cannot be compared to yours. For example, one thing that I've learned is that for a person to survive, you must be able to have financial management as a lesson or as a qualification. So it's either you have a lesson or you have a qualification, because it's a very key part. Because what happens in the law firm, after your articles or after employment, now you learn to have streams of money coming in and out in small portions. So there's a certain degree of financial intelligence that is required to ensure that the money is coming in are not misappropriated, are not used for non-essential things. So so that you ensure that the law firm runs smoothly. For many Black law firms, my law firm and other law firms, the lacking part, which I think universities or law schools should prioritize, is financial management. I think that should be a core and it should be a module to ensure that now, because you are a law firm, yes, you did your bookkeeping and all that, but booking does not teach you that if you have 10,000 rands and you have so many expenses, which expenses you should prioritize, which you should not. So financial management should be a module across all law qualifications in South Africa, because they are the key part to attorneys, and especially those who would want to open their law firms. And now I'd also like to extend, because now I've touched it. I know it's not part of your question, but now also we need some sort of seminars that will be there for law students and also for law graduates. We need seminars to ensure that the people who open law firms, they do it in the interest of South Africa, in the interest of citizens, and in the interest of business development and also community development. One of the most dangerous things that we do, including myself, the motivation to opening a law firm, it's financial freedom. So what does that do? It maintains many law firms having one staff. Many law firms have one staff, a lawyer, and maybe a secretary, a legal secretary. That's it, because the priority there is it's the profit. So we need such seminars to go along with the module that I think should be added, which is financial management. So those things are very key to ensure that even the structure of our law firms. My biggest depression at the moment is that I can't structure my law firm the way I want to because of financial constraints. But the other part is that other lawyers, they've operated for more than 10 years with one lawyer and one legal secretary. And that makes the production, even the work rate, to be slow. And that renders our law firms not as quality as compared to other law firms which are owned by other races. Because now the structure part, it should form part of your motivation. So say, I want to have to employ candidate attorneys. I want to employ other unemployed South Africans. Or also, I want the functionality of the law firm and the brand of the law firm to grow. So I think the biggest problem there is that the attitude should not be to making big profits at the expense of underemploying or not having a well-structured law firm.
Thank you so much for that response, Lungelo. Very informative response. Thank you so much once again. There's a question that is coming in from Nkandla and Eshowe. It says, as black lawyers, how difficult it is, as a black lawyer, how difficult it is for you to get big contracts from government or big companies, how are you being assisted by structures like BLA, which is Black Lawyers Association, or any other relevant structure so that you don't lose the game compared to big white law firms? And I think this question speaks of trust, you know, that does the government trust black attorneys and other companies in terms of briefing black lawyers? You know, do they trust you? And also in terms of funding, how is it? Is it easy, or is it also complex to secure funding and major contracts from government, or the government still trust abelungu, you know, the nabantu abamnyama?
Okay, my experience is that I think there are two ways to answer this question. The first one is to say, yes, government relies on white law firms mostly for their work. One of the reasons is that before we even put a blame on government or anyone else, is to say, now, it speaks to what I was speaking about previously before this question, that these white law firms, they are well structured. I'm talking about a law firm which has a department of debt collection, a department of criminal litigation, a department of commercial litigation. So if for example, we are bidding for the same contract and they submit a profile which has such departments, and the structure of my company, because I'm poor, because there is no funding, there is no assistance. So you find that now the government is forced or is coerced to go with the other part, because they also want the best for their organs, for their municipality, for their departments. Now, and the second part is that also, after having said that, the government also does have an attitude, which I think most people have across all sectors, that a certain race-owned enterprise is likely to give a more efficient service than a black-owned. So that's the struggle which is across. It's not specific to us as lawyers, but it is there. Yes, government does trust the other races than black races. Some have been caused by that. Some, to be honest, some black companies have been offered jobs, have been offered contracts, but they have not done well. Some, they do not do well because they are controlled by their greed for money. Some, they are underqualified. Some are because the current economy does not allow them to employ enough staff to have all relevant departments that a fully functional law firm should have. That is why you'll find that black law firms, they actually there does labor law, does civil litigation, does rodents and fund claims and other personal injury claims. Practically, that is not practical to do efficiently in all these fields. You see, so it means you need more staff. Now the challenge is that if you employ more staff, can you afford to pay a professional? Can you afford to pay an admitted lawyer a sustainable salary? So the answer to that is no. So various factors do influence that to unfold in the manner that it is unfolding. So the final wrap up or conclusion is that it's still very difficult for black law firms to get big contracts.
Thank you for that answer. On my side, I'd like to know two things that are combined. You did mention in your presentation that you've had to make some sacrifices to get to where you are and build the Azania Ngobese attorneys. What are those sacrifices that you've had to make to get to where you are to build your law firm? And as someone who's identified the lack and the problems that are amongst other companies, other attorneys and firms, what are you doing in your own company to make a change in that environment?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. I'd like to start with the last part of the question, which is what am I doing to ensure that I better my law firm? Okay, what I've done is that I've tried to draw up a structure that I want my law firm to reach or to be at, and then after I've finished that, so what I'm working on now is to ensure that I get enough funding to assist to realize that dream. Because to be honest, you cannot do anything without money. If I want to well structure my law firm, it means I have to have enough capital to ensure that I employ and equip more lawyers, and I ensure that the professionals that I bring in, they are able to produce quality work because they are well paid and the law firm is well structured and well functioning. So what I've done is that I've drawn up a structure, and I'm currently in the process of I've approached different sectors of government to ensure that I get some funding to assist in this regard. No, say I lost while explaining. I lost the first part of your question. Can you repeat it, please?
It just shortly in 1 minute, I wanted to understand the sacrifices that you've personally had to make in order to grow.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, I think what I've done is that I suspended a lot of things to ensure that the whole effort I put in my company, I put in realizing my dream. For example, the first thing that I did is to cut costs and to ensure that even the law firm that I open or establish, it will be situated wherein I will stay at home. And then I suspended any aspirations of owning a beautiful car for now. That's an example. And I suspended a lot of things which are luxurious things which any young person would be interested in. I suspended all of that, and to ensure that this dream is realized. So it requires a great deal of discipline to say, okay, now here is this thing which excites me as a young person. Now the decision that I'm supposed to take a decision of a 40-year-old while I'm 20 years old. So those sacrifices are very important because other than that, you cannot survive. So those decisions are very important. So it's sacrifices which speak to one's life, and sacrifices speak to say, now I have to ensure that now the life that I want to live also goes hand in hand with what I want to achieve. Hence, I've also established other businesses outside the law business to ensure that I substantiate my living, so that the law firm will not feel a strain to say now it has to be my bread and butter. At least if I can get bread on the other side or other sector of business, I know I can get butter on the other side. As you can see, the way I'm dressed, I was not attending any court today. I simply went to the taxi rank for other businesses. Yeah, so yeah, it requires that.
Nice. Thank you for that answer.
And Lungelo, you are doing also very well in events management. I've been just looking at your work, your resume in events management, and now you are venturing ema-taxing. So, okay, now
it's about having multiple income streams. That's it, because you need to have that assurance.
Yeah, and it's actually really working for him. Last question, Lungelo, we've got less than 2 minutes. It's coming from Essentul. It says, in general, some small businesses or firms downfall may be as a result of taking clients or accepting big contracts that they do not have resources for. Do they have any take on this or advice? Okay, do you have any take on this or advice to other small firms or general businesses like yours with regarding to aligning and matching resources to the size of their clients and work that is required? You have 1 minute to answer this one, my brother.
Okay. Thank you very much. No, I think the answer is there is what I've previously said, that there's no problem in accepting a big contract, but what big small law firms need to do after that acceptance, they have to ensure that after acceptance of such work, they equip themselves with additional staff to comply with the requirements of that contract. So it's important that that's why I said it's important that you don't prioritize profits over work rate, because you earn a good name in the law fraternity by ensuring that you do well, so that more clients would come. So I think in answering that is that after getting a big contract, you must ensure that you equip the office or the firm well to do work efficiently.
Thank you so much, Lungelo. It looks like, okay, we're running out of time, but I have a surprise for you. I know this was not planned, but in the introduction, I stated that you once served in one of the best law firms in criminal litigation in KZN, which is Ngobese and Associates. So here I have Ubab Ngobese. He wants to say a few words to you, Mr. Ngobese. Okay, let me.
Thank you, Lungelo. This was very informative. I'm so impressed. Keep well, my son. Thank you.
So that was your surprise, Lungelo.
No, thank you very much. I learned a lot from that man. In fact, he taught me the law and the business part. I learned a lot. He's a very good litigant. I've never seen a person who can balance lecturing and the academia and also the practice. It's a very daunting task. So I rate him very highly in KZN. I don't think I have someone whom I rate above him in terms of balancing the two. It's a very tough task. Yeah, in fact, it's an impossible thing to do, but he does it so well. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ngobese.
Hayi, siyabonga kakhulu Lungelo. Sesikhathi sethu sesiphelile. Siyabonga kakhulu Nos. Siyabonga kakhulu konke umuntu osijoinile namhlanje, and we hope to have you in the future, Lungelo. Siyabonga kakhulu. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Sesiyavala.
Okay, thank you.